What's up, everybody? It's Heard the Stout here, and today I wanted to talk about that everybody's favorite card that we're beating up on right now is Nexus of Fate. It's been a problem for a while, actually. I'm not sure problem is the right word. It's more of a problem in Arena, and it actually has more to do with Arena not being able to recognize the fact that it's an infinite loop without advancing the board state. So in Paper Magic, actually, if you're in a tournament and you get no cards left and you just keep recycling your Nexus of Fate back into your library and just keep taking infinite turns, it's actually a game loss because you're not advancing the board state at all, and there's nothing you can do to advance the board state. Arena, in its the way the client is set up, it can't recognize that, and I don't know if there's a way they could implement it. We'll talk about more about that later. One of the reasons this actually came to the forefront recently was there was a large streamer. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name right now. I'm blanking on it at this moment, but he was playing against somebody who was looping Nexus of Fate. And I believe it went on for like 2-3 hours. And then somebody actually from Wizards, I believe it was Chris Clay, stepped in and actually ended up banning the player. So the player got a 2-hour ban. And because he wasn't advancing the board state and he just letting the game go on. I have some issues with that. I'm not going to get into all of those issues in this video. Because I really don't think that players should be banned for looping Nexus. The true problem with Nexus of Fate right now isn't the card itself. I know it sounds like a very broken thing. 7 mana, take an extra turn at this one, shuffle it back into your library. The problem really lies in this, and in this. Pretty much all decks running Nexus of Fate are running some kind of combination of these. These enable too much of the combo. I think all together, these pieces just make a horrible state to deal with. And this deck actually was pretty prevalent coming just to the end of rotation last time before Kaladesh block rotated out. This deck was really competing with the red deck at that time, but it kind of caught on late, so it wasn't, when it rotated, it wasn't on a lot of people's radar. And aggro and mid-range really dominated early on into Ravnica, and then now recently this deck, especially with Arena, the best of one, the Nexus is starting to come back. A lot of people are saying, well, there's really like two camps too, and it seems like people are extreme polar opposites of it. So it's either you absolutely hate Nexus of Fate, this is a broken card, I can't believe R&D let this happen, or if you're a Nexus player, it's you're just salty, get good, learn how to play, it's not our problem, you can't play. Well, and neither side is right or wrong. Like some people say it leads to no fun interactions. Well, on the other hand, there's plenty of other decks in the format that offer say no fun, no interaction games. Turn 4 red deck win kills are common. I've done that. I've received that. Blue white mill decks, Esper control decks, heavy counter control decks. The list just goes on and on. There was a like green white black. They don't do anything. You create a million tokens. So there's a whole bunch of decks out there that are just as prevalent, cancerous in the format. Should players be banned for looping Nexus? No. First off, Wizards has... it's not our fault Wizards doesn't have the client programmed correctly to pick up on this loop. And I don't know if it's possible, too. And I have no sympathy for the players who sit there against a Nexus player for 3 hours while they loop Nexus. You can take the concede and move on to the next game. Not the end of the world. So I have no sympathy for the person who sat there for 3 hours and went through that torture. Don't sit there on the forums and complain to me about it. You're the one who actually chose to sit there in a game for 3 hours while somebody else played Magic and you did nothing. You can concede. You can scoop and walk away. I know that's some people don't want to hear that, but put on your big boy pants. You can concede and walk away. So what can we do for next to handle this problem? Obviously the first and foremost thing the simplest, and I think this is the solution that they're going to do, is just straight up ban this card in Arena. Because in Paper Magic, like I said, it's not as big of a problem right now. That could change if it dominates a pro tour coming up or a tournament coming up and it just dominates. That could easily change, but they did say actually just last week in an interview that they're willing to keep a separate ban list for Arena. So they could ban Nexus of Fate itself, or one way we can actually influence this. One way we could actually influence this and make it more likely that they go down this route, and it's going to take a community adjustment, is everybody either plays Nexus or as soon as you see Nexus of Fate, auto concede. Because if WotC does see that this card is dominating the format, and they could definitely look at Arena games and see that if it has an exorbitantly high win rate, they could look at that and ban it quickly. The other thing that you could do is, and which this is where kind of I wish they would do it, is because is ban some of the other ancillary cards in the combo. Teferi, Wilderness Reclamation, Search for Escanta. Those would be prime targets, but they'd also have to be very careful what they do, because this could have ramifications throughout other decks, like the other control deck, especially control decks. Personally, I'm leaning more towards Teferi. I wish they would. But I doubt they're going. I doubt they're going to if they haven't done it yet. And the last solution, which unfortunately I think is probably the easiest and best solution, but I don't think it's going to happen, would be do something different to the Arena client itself. Whether they can actually figure out a way to code it so it can detect that loop, that it is a loop and there's no advancing to the game state, or which I'm not sure can be done with this client. Could be. I'm not a programmer. I don't pretend to be any means, but I don't know how hard that would be. Or the other thing I've heard mentioned was like implement some kind of chess timer towards matches. So if both players want to wait it out, then I maybe give them both a draw or a loss, or however they want to do it. But yeah, what are your thoughts? What do you think about Nexus? Should it be banned? Should they ban the other pieces? Should they just let it be? Let the format go? I think overall, the format is healthy. There's enough different decks out there to make it a healthy, diverse format. And I actually want to applaud Wizards of the Coast, because I think they really took a risk, especially with all of these three cards, the Teferi, the Wilderness Reclamation, Nexus of Fate. I think they took some risks, and they really kind of pushed some of their design. I am surprised these made it out of R&D, but on the other hand too, I'm really glad they took those risks, and it's good to see them try to explore new space with their card designs and actually give us cool, powerful designs. Unfortunately, they kind of warp the format around it. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Peace!